follower is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from New Jersey, AJ Lee!
Looking out at the countless members of the WWE Universe in attendance, they are all here because of matches like this one.
Hey guys, we're here at the Pink Square Circle. We'll talk about why AJ Lee won't be at the Royal Rumble, why AJ return is all hype. Let's get the lights on as we come to the Pink Square Circle. There's been a lot of buzz about AJ Lee being in the Women's Royal Rumble match for 2025 Royal Rumble this upcoming Saturday, February 1st. Now, this has been all over the line. All the fans want to see her there. I know CM Punk, he's talked about in a recent interview, which I'll get into later. He didn't say her name, but he hinted at maybe AJ Lee may be coming. But other than that, in this women's match, it's a star-studded match with the most gifted and talented women on the roster, as well as the men's in history. Now, AJ Lee, she's a well-accomplished wrestler. She won a Divas Championship 3 times, FCW Divas Champion, and a WSU Tag Team Champion. Now, she's done a lot. And now she's enjoying her life, you know, being a Comic Cons, being a businesswoman, an author, being in film and television. I think at this point in AJ Lee's life, she's done her wrestling career. She's done with that, you know, and she's cool with that. She has no regrets whatsoever. I think she's very, very well with the part that her wrestling career is done. She's done everything she wanted to do. That sits well with her. I don't think she has an itching to come back unless it be a major storyline, which I highly doubt. Now, we heard wrestlers like Bayley, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Lyra Valkyria talk high praise for AJ Lee and how they would like for her to come back. It's even been Jackie Redmond's been on record saying she would like for her to appear in the Royal Rumble. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think AJ Lee is going to be in the Royal Rumble. Now, normally in the Women's Royal Rumble match, when it comes to the legends or Hall of Famers or past women wrestlers that are not wrestling anymore, you normally get one big name a year, maybe two. Now, there's been talk of Trish Stratus or Nikki Bella being in the Royal Rumble. It may be both, but I don't see AJ Lee being in the mix of that. She really is focusing on her craft, which is being in film production. She's also involved with women, which is Women of Wrestling. Now, she was there in 2021, and I think her contract expired. She's not there currently, but let's see more what people are saying about AJ Lee upcoming return, and if she do return.
There's a big one that I'm not going to say because I'm going to get in trouble.
Because it's so crazy. No, you know who needs to come out for the Women's Rumble?
Trish?
Well, I mean, yeah, I would be, obviously, fellow Canadian, I would be so pumped. But you know who the place would erupt for? Like, erupt.
Who?
AJ.
Ooh, oh.
Like, if she came out, oh my God, show stealer.
I feel like
that's all anyone would be talking about.
This would be the year.
What could top it?
Including myself. Could we see you in the WoW wrestling ring? I mean, I would want to see it. I'm just saying.
So I will say, I say the same thing in every interview, and it's always never say never, but don't hold your breath. And what I mean by that is that I never say never to anything physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm healed from everything I've gone through in wrestling. I could technically do it, but I'm so enjoying it, like letting the next generation have their spotlight. I got to do everything I wanted to do. So it really would have to be, is that challenge there? I don't think the girls need me there. I think that they are going to take over the world.
And I was CM Punk hinting that maybe AJ Lee show up without saying her name. Jackie Redmond said that would top the whole Royal Rumble event if she were to show up in the Women's Royal Rumble match. And also, she did an interview with Women of Wrestling with a wrestler named Izzy Moreno that's on the independent scene. If you guys remember, she was a big fan of Bayley back to NXT TakeOver as a child. She said that never say never, but she's saying that not just for women of wrestling, but in general, she wants to see the new generation shine. She wants to see them do their thing. and she want to see them flourish. She does not want to take any shine away from new generation. She wants to allow them to get their opportunities to grow as wrestlers and characters, just like she did, because AJ Lee learned and knows that she had her time, and now she's stepping to the side and letting other wrestlers get their shine. And we don't see that enough from the wrestling veterans. Most of the wrestling veterans, especially the males, when they become up in age and been a long time veteran, they don't let the younger talent come up and get their shine. They tend to take that away from them. So the fact that AJ Lee said that she would rather see the younger talent come up and gain their notoriety, that shows a lot about AJ. She really is a great performer and also a great individual to allow that to continue, because she knows the nature of the business, which is probably why WOW approached her and had her be there, because she was there from 2021 to 2023 when her contract expired, which was not renewed for whatever reason. But AJ Lee, she's definitely, like I said, one of the great performers, one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. And I got to notate this enough, AJ Lee is the main person that brought women's wrestling to where it is today. But, you know, she talks more also about how she got to WOW with Renee Paquette on the sessions.
Women of Wrestling with WOW. How is that going? How did that come about?
So it came about because the last 2 or 3 years I've been working on getting into film and television writing, which is my initial focus in school. I went to NYU Film School for writing and production, and couldn't afford school and got kicked out, and ended up going to my passion, my love, which was wrestling. Then when I retired from that, I took sort of like the circuitous route to get back into it. And started a production company, and through that process of being a producer and a writer and a wrestler, it seemed like the perfect fit when WOW was looking for that person, and a woman who knew wrestling and also knew how to, write and produce. So I talked to Jeannie Buss, who's like the owner of the Lakers. I don't know anything about sports.
I got a lot of questions about that, because I feel like I also I know about sports, but like that relationship with Jeannie Buss. Anyways, carry on. I'll do a follow-up.
Well, my team told me that Jeannie Buss wants to talk to you, and they were very, very.
Now, when AJ Lee spoke on the sessions with Renee Paquette, I think that was back in maybe 2021, 2022, whatever the year Punk arrived in AEW. She stated that wrestling was her passion, but her first love, if you guys didn't know, was TV and film. She went to NYU, New York University, and she was not there long due to her not being able to afford tuition. But that's what she really wants to do, and that's what she's doing now. Now, AJ Lee, they say also she writes scripts, she co-produces many projects that she works on. She does that stuff. That's a part of life. And of course, if you guys don't know, she also had the book, AJ Lee, Crazy is My Superpower. That was out for a few years ago. I heard that was #1 New York Times bestseller author book for a while. So she's focused on that aspect of her life now. I believe that the wrestling chapter and her getting to the ring, that chapter, that part of her life is over. Let's be honest, AJ Lee retired 10 years ago. Back in 2015, she left WWE a year after CM Punk left in 2014. I don't see AJ Lee making that wave, and the IWC is blowing up right now. They're going off. They think that she's coming back due to these interviews and the tease. It's not going to happen, people. She's not coming back. She's not going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble. She's not going to be in the crowd. I believe she's just going to sit on the sidelines, do what she does now, and support her husband, CM Punk, who is in WWE and will be in the Men's Royal Rumble match. But I think that's all she's going to do. And it's not a bad thing at all. Like I said before, AJ's done it all. 3-time Divas Champion. She's faced the best of her era. She faced against Nikki Bella, Caitlyn. She faced off against Natalya. Others, Paige, when she came in from NXT, defeating her. She's defeated the best of her era. And, we know that the women's revolution was going on. She was definitely one of the top, if not the top woman, alongside Stephanie McMahon to get that going. She kicked that off for where wrestling is today. So she definitely get the credit for that. Also, women's wrestling has evolved since AJ Lee left 10 years ago. The wrestling that she was used to in that style, it's nothing like that anymore. The women are much faster, they're much bigger, stronger, they're flying all over the place. They have many in-ring move sets, everything. So if anything, if AJ Lee were to come back, as they say never, she would definitely have to step it up not in the training at the PC Center. And if AJ Lee were to come back, guys, let's just think about it. When we hear reports of AJ Lee being a performance center at this point, we hear this all the time with wrestlers. We heard this with Alexa Bliss. We heard this with Jade Cargill when she's supposed to return and when she debuted. We heard it with Charlotte Flair. We would have heard some type of report that AJ Lee was at the performance center. You know, we would have heard about it, and we definitely would have saw pictures of her being at the performance center. So that's proof right there, alongside everything else I said, that she will not be at the Women's Royal Rumble, because this is one of the big five now. They call it events of the year, alongside WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, Survivor Series, SummerSlam. She will be training. And I mean training hard, because the way wrestling is, especially for a woman like her who's been out of wrestling for 10 years. So we will hear some reports about that at some point. Unless it's some miracle that AJ Lee and CM Punk have a wrestling ring inside their home. But I don't think that's the case either. AJ Lee is done, guys. She's not going to be in the ring. Now, is the question, will she be inducted to the Hall of Fame later on? Oh, no, possibility. I wouldn't rule it out. But that all depends on, you know, the management, TKO, Triple H, and all that stuff. But AJ Lee's not going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble. And I wish people would stop, making this a big deal, blowing this way out of proportion than it has to be. We just got to accept things for what they are. And that's the problem with IWC that I have with them sometimes. They're not living in reality. She's not going to be there. She's not going to be in the Rumble. She's not going to show up. Charlotte Flair, yes. Becky Lynch, yes. Trish Stratus, yes. Nikki Bella, yes. We know it's in the back of our heads, that in our mind, that's going to happen. AJ Lee, that's just a fantasy. It's a dream. It's something that's not going to happen. That's not what she wants to do with her life anymore. If she were to get back in the ring well before now, when CM Punk was in AEW, don't you think she would have been in that company? And also, too, AJ Lee also spoke with Renee Paquette on the same interview. And for those you don't know, she had a real bad neck injury during the end of her WWE run as Divas Champion. This is the real reason I believe she's not going to wrestle no more. If you don't believe me, hear for yourself here.
Surgeries for health stuff. My neck was hurt at the end of my career, but I feel great. Not trying to wrestle. Don't get that.
Not what I'm getting at. I'm just checking in, just seeing how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it feeling great by not wrestling. But I hurt my neck really bad the last year, and and when it happened in the ring, I thought I was paralyzed, which was the scariest thing ever.
What was the moment?
I think it was me and Saraya. I f***ed up her move. I jumped a little early, and I landed on the top of my head and I couldn't feel my legs, and they were like, "You got to sell a hard cam," and I was like, "I can't feel my legs."
Oh my god!
And I had to roll over and sell the hard cam. And then I got my feeling back, and went to the doctor. And it turned out 3 of my discs are so compacted it is shutting off a nerve. Yeah. So my hands just go numb randomly. But just with rehab and stuff, I was able to I had the option to do surgery to alleviate that pain or do rehab.
Yeah.
And I went the rehab route, and I was doing rehab and I was still on the road as champion. So I'd never really gave it that chance to heal. And had Batman neck for 4 years after.
All right, that was AJ Lee with Renee Paquette in the same interview. Now, towards the end of her WWE run as Divas Champion, she had a neck injury, which she said she botched the move by accident with Saraya, and she was almost paralyzed. She couldn't feel legs, couldn't feel anything, And that's why she's not going to wrestle no more. That's another major reason right there. We know as the athletes, you know, whether it's wrestling or any sport, if you have a major injury like that, especially to the neck or back, whatever, you kind of hesitate on back to wherever you do your sport or profession. So it makes sense why AJ Lee's not going to wrestle again. And that's all I had regarding why AJ Lee won't be at the Royal Rumble, why the AJ Lee return is all hype. You guys let me know, what do you think? Check out the links below for the next 2 videos that pop up. Until then, guys, I will see you guys later.